So the next thing that I'm going to talk about are Lambda functions. They are new in C++. They're very new. And these are anonymous functions. That is, they do not have a name. We can declare them inside some other functions, which does not, so the fact that we can declare them in some other functions is not something that we can do with regular functions. That's why we have Lambda functions. The syntax, okay, let me just go outside of this code a little bit, and the syntax for them goes like this. Wow. So this is the syntax for them. You have blocks, and then you open up parentheses, and you put some parameters here. Let's use a shortcut. And then you have this, and then you have some sort of a return type. Return type, and down below you will have the body of the function. So it might look a little bit scary the way it looks. I understand if it does. We won't use them extensively here, and I won't explain them to a great extent here. Later on, when we use them and when we see where they're used, I will explain them in far more detail. For the time being, I just wanted to mention them. So let's go over them briefly. So first of all, the function begins with blocks, which indicates that we are talking about Lambda functions. Okay, so it begins with blocks, and that is an indication that this is a Lambda function. It accepts parameters, just like regular functions do, as you can see here. And in the end, we specify the return type. Note that the return type can be omitted. Actually, you don't need this part, only if there is, only if there is only one return command inside the function. If you have one return command, you can actually omit the return type. So let's go ahead and take a look at an example of a Lambda function. Let's just go ahead and take a look at the example of a Lambda function and see how it actually works out. This is this pseudocode here for a Lambda function. It's not the clearest possible thing that you can see. And we're gonna go ahead and use them straight in the main. So once again, we are gonna go ahead and use a function within a function. Later on, we will see what Lambda functions are used for, as I said, but for now, the only use for this function is that we can have a function within another function. So let's go ahead and do that. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and remove all of this. Yep, there we go. And let's go ahead and do it. So first off, we're going to type in auto lambda 1. So the name is arbitrary. Of course, you can name yours toilet paper if you want, but I'm going to name mine lambda 1. And then we're going to say equals, and we're going to use blocks. It's going to be like this, int x. This will be a parameter that is passed to it. And down below, we are going to type in return cube of x, let's say. So x times x times x. X to the power of 3. You see, this would be the Lambda function. This is how it looks like. You do not need to comprehend it to its full extent now. Only the parts that I have explained here. As I said, later on, we will, of course, use it, but for the time being, I just want to show you that you can declare a function within a function. So function within a function. Anyway, let's go ahead and type in this int num equals 10. So we're just going to need some sort of an integer, and it's going to be like 10 times 10 times 10, which is going to be like 10. Which will be 1,000. So down below we'll type in int result equals, and now we shall call the function lambda 1, and it's going to be, we're going to pass an argument to it, num, Let's go ahead and close it. So the result, the value of the variable result will be 1000, since the parameter passed, the lambda function, is 10, and 10 times 10 times 10 is 1000. Okay, so let's go ahead and specify the return type. It's not necessary here, but let's just do it for the sake of the demonstration. And you will see how this one will differ from the one where we actually specify the return type. So auto lambda 2 equals blocks, and we're gonna have, I don't know, int x and int y, and now we're gonna use this, and it's gonna be int. So this is how you would specify it. I'm not explaining this portion here just yet deliberately. If you're wondering what it is, we will get to those things later on. Those are relatively advanced concepts for this stage in the course. But the way I have envisioned this course is that you will basically go over the same things several times in different stages of the course. We will go over some things, and then we will go over them in a simple fashion, and later on, when we get to the point in time where we actually need to use them for something complex, we will go into more depth and explain it in that fashion. That's just the way that I've envisioned it, and we'll see if you actually like it. Anyway, let's go ahead and type in return x times y. So we have a return type specified here, and we have two parameters that are to be passed, and then we will return. It's not necessary that we specify the return type here because there's only one return statement down below, but it doesn't really matter. I just wanted to do a demo here. So let's go ahead and call the function down below. Result2 equals lambda 2, oops, lambda 3. Or is it lambda 2? Oh, wait, what have I named it? Lambda 2, sorry, yeah. And let's go ahead and type in 10, 5. You can pass pretty much any two integers that you want. The result of this will be 5 times 10, that's 50. We can print it out onto the screen if you want, but there really is no need. I'm just going to go ahead and build and compile it. Okay, we seem to have an error. Oh, I completely forgot. You do need a semicolon at the end of the body here. Okay, yep, there we go. It works. It doesn't print anything out onto the screen because I didn't tell it to print anything out onto the screen. You can go ahead and print out result2 and result if you want onto the screen if you like. But anyway, I didn't really want to burden you too much with these types of functions because at this point in time, during this learning stage, you are not going to find yourselves in need of them, and you will not be using them extensively. I just wanted to mention them and bring them up and tell you that they exist and tell you how they are used and for what they are used. Later on, when we actually use them, you will see many more examples. But for the time being, just take a look at the syntax. And if you don't understand it to the fullest of extents, just relax. It's fine. If you want to read some material online, it's really fine if you don't understand them completely. They're very new and it's a fairly advanced concept. As I said, I'm just running it by you now. Later on, we will get to the point in time where we will deal with this extensively once we learn a few other things, like pointers, referencing, classes, etc. So then we will actually learn about more complex things. Here, I just wanted to run it by you so that you do see that it exists and that you do see that it can be used in this fashion. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and bid you farewell. This is going to be the end of the functions chapter, and we will be moving onwards.